Hi friends and welcome back to my channel. Well, as the title told you, today we are playing with drugstore makeup. I know, that is not the norm for me. You know I'm a ride or die Sephora girl. The reason I don't do drugstore a lot is simple. They don't have testers. I need to test, try, swatch, smell. I need to get the right shades for me, and you very often cannot do that in the drugstore. I can't tell you how many times I have bought a foundation and gone back to Target. There was one I had gone back 4 times and then I was like, forget it. And I feel bad because customer service looks at me like, girl, you were crazy. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with me is I really don't know what my skin tone is. That's why I go to Sephora. They shade match me and it just takes all the worry and guesswork out of it. But I did this all by myself. I went to Ulta, I shopped their whole drugstore area. And as I was shopping, I was using their app, so I was sure to get like at least 4.5-star rated things. And I think I did pretty well. Oh, and if you're new to my channel, welcome. I am Jennifer. I am a lover of all things hair, skin, and makeup. If that is something you are into, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. I love growing the family, and you might enjoy a little bit of a shit show every now and then. And we will get this show on the road. All right, first things first, my hair is a little too silky and unmanageable right now. It was freshly washed today, so I do need these little clips just to hold it back and keep everything out of the way, at least for my complexion products. Adorable. All right, so even though I have filmed this video, this will be the 3rd time now. This is what I used the first 2 videos. I used a different shade the first one. The second one, I did use this shade. I'm not sold that it is the right one. However, my Ulta didn't have like the next shade up. They had, I think, 3 shades up. This is shade C4. They had C7 next, which was just too high. But this is going to be a little bit light, so I'm going to put it on first and then I will go in with my foundation. So lately I have been having some trouble getting the right shade and formula for myself. Seems like things are changing for me. And I thought, well, I'll just try some drugstore ones and see if they have any. And this here I liked a lot. It didn't settle into my lines. It lasted nicely throughout the day. The color is the only problem. And the problem with it being too light is that, well, the whole purpose of makeup is to kind of like enhance your best features and kind of detract from your worst features. And when you use something very bright on an area you're trying to conceal, you're actually going to accentuate. So I don't want to accentuate that which I do not like. So having this a little too light, kind of a problem. All right, now I did find that this is a medium coverage concealer, which is nice. I love full coverage concealers, do not get me wrong, but a medium one has its place in my routine. Mostly for like, you know, your everyday. Now we are going out tonight. We will be in like a darker venue. We're going to see a band. So I could totally go with full coverage, but I don't have to. Unfortunately, I am correct. The color is too light. However, the actual coverage is really nice and it gives this really pretty smoothing effect. So I am definitely going to try and get this in the right color. I mean, I will say it over and over again. The reason why I don't buy drugstore products is because you can't really swatch in store. Makes me crazy. So I had to go back to Ulta once. I know that my Target does carry this brand. I also know they don't have testers. Now, Ulta did have testers, but I think the one shade was out. So it's a pain in the ass. And that's my biggest reason for going to Sephora is it's not a pain in the ass. Everything I can touch, swatch, smell, try on, see how I like it. And that makes a big difference for me because then I usually don't have to return anything. Oh, she ran out of breath with that one. Next up, I have from Maybelline. This is their Dream Radiant Liquid. I have in the shade 20. I think it's Ivory. Was it Classic Ivory? I was kind of blown away by this. So I was trying to buy all like 5-star products or at least 4.5-star and up products. I'm not out here shopping trying to get crap. I want to get like the best products I can get at the drugstore. So I was using I was using Ulta's app while I was in store, checking ratings on everything that I was interested in. This was over 4.5 stars. This had rave reviews and I was like, all right, I'm gonna get it. And boy, am I glad I did. Now, this will be my 3rd time wearing it. It is sitting front and center on my table here. I am blown away by how great this is. So it is a hydrating foundation, which is nicer for me this time of year. You know, it's colder, furnace on, blah, blah, blah. But what's really great is that it's not like a greasy hydrating. It's just like a gentle, like illuminating type highlight. Not highlight, but like it's the type of hydrating that makes you look like fresh, but doesn't make you look greasy. Do you get what I'm saying? But can you see from side to side like the difference? Now here again, this is a medium coverage foundation, which is really where I'm at now. I don't find myself reaching for full coverage foundation that often. I just feel because of the condition of my skin, if I wear a full coverage and then you see my neck is different, my décolleté is different, it's not great. So at least a medium helps me get like a better blend. All right, so obviously I just went in with a brush. Lately, I've been liking going in with a brush and then spending an obscene amount of time with my beauty blender, just going over and pressing it in. This all started for me because of Mel Thompson. I hope you are familiar with Mel Thompson. She was a really lovely YouTuber, and unfortunately, she passed away last month, suddenly, unexpectedly, very sadly. She was only in her mid-30s, 4 kids. It's super sad. However, her channel is fantastic. She has beautiful reviews. Her makeup skills, like, unbelievable. And every time I watch her video, she is just going in over and over again with her beauty blender, talking away and just getting the perfect blend. And I thought, you know what? If that's the secret to like Mel's a beautiful looking base, that's what I'm gonna do. And that's what I've been doing lately. I actually find that just by going over this, it's pressing it into my skin, but it's also picking up any extra product. And then whatever is on my sponge lays down wherever it's needed. It's been like the perfect little tweak to how I do my makeup. And that's the thing about like me doing my makeup. I'm always tweaking. I'm never ever doing everything the same. I just love learning new tips, tricks, figuring out what works for my skin, what doesn't work for my skin. But doing this for an obscene amount of time makes a huge difference. I'm not saying you have to do it. I'm gonna. What do you think? I am so impressed with this foundation. It's so pretty. I didn't think that this would be my shade. It is. I'm terrible picking out shades. Surprisingly, I picked this out on the first try. I stood there and stared at the shades for probably 20 minutes, but when I finally settled on this, I committed, and I think it is a nice match. I really like it. Now, I could go over with another layer to make it a more full coverage, and honestly, what you guys are seeing with all these lights on me, it actually like blows everything out and you still see way more of my imperfections than like I'm seeing when I look in the mirror. But that's okay because I really don't want a cake face, so I'm not gonna do another layer. But you can definitely go in with a second layer if you want more of a full coverage look with the Maybelline Dream Radiant Liquid. This stuff is so good and no scent, no scent. Thank you so much, Maybelline, because the scents, they make me crazy sometimes. All right, so of course I want to set everything. However, I couldn't find a setting powder that I was interested in the drugstore area. I'm going to use my Wet n Wild Photo Focus Translucent because it's freaking fantastic. It's inexpensive and it's at the drugstore. So hang on a second while I put her on. Now I know I featured this in another drugstore video, but it is just that good. I still use it on the daily. It is so good. Now I just did a full set all over my entire face. I know it looks like a little bit much, but I need it to last because I think it's only around like 2:30. We're not going out until around 7, and then we're gonna be out for a few hours. So I need my makeup to hold up for a long time. So a full set with my powder is going to help everything, like especially my complexion products, just be locked in and not move around or get super oily. For my bronzing, I have from Juvia's Place. This is called The Bronzed by Juvia's. I was a little blown away by this. It's $18, comes with a nice size mirror, but it's nice because it has like 2 different shades of the bronzer. This is the light palette. I know that there were other palettes. I think there was a medium. There might have been a deep or dark, but when I saw these shades, I knew they would be nice for me. Now, this seems a little cool, but it's actually not when it goes on, and it actually builds really nicely. So we're gonna start off with this first. Now I'm going to do like the lightest, most basic of contours, just because like I have canceled out my face entirely. So I want to bring a little shape back to my face. Now I'm sure you're like, girl, I'm not even seeing any color payoff. I don't want a whole lot for this contour. I just want a little bit. That's why I'm not going in with one of my other contour products, because I just don't need like a full contour. I just want to bring a little bit of shape back. And then I'll go in with a deeper shade of the bronze and we'll warm it up. All right, now I'm going to go in with the slightly deeper shade of the bronze. And I'm going just above that light contour shade, a little over top of it, but above it. Now I've been enjoying this bronzing palette because A, it's smooth, it doesn't go on patchy, it's buildable and light. And this time of year, I don't need like the summer glow. I just need the warmth to my face to kind of detract from like the pale sallowness that I have currently. So this has been working very nicely for that. And at $18 for this little palette, I don't think it's a bad deal, honestly. And I think it's very user-friendly, especially since it is buildable. You're not gonna go in with like a deep splotch of very pigmented color and be like, oh, what do I do? You'll be able to build this and get it to where you want without like freaking out. There we go, just enough bronze. I think it's like the right shade. I think it's subtle enough. I don't think it's like overpowering. I really, really, really like this. All right, let's get these stupid clips out. They're making me crazy. Can't stand how I look with them in. Yeah, she's a little vain. So normally I would do my eyebrows next, and I had purchased from Maybelline. This is the Express Brow. And I gotta say, I'm like, So it is dual-ended. The one end is like a wide pencil, and I just don't like the wide pencils anymore. I need the tiny, teeny ones so I can get like those precise little hair-like strokes. But it does have on the other end the powder, which I like a lot. So I'm 50-50 on this. I'm gonna use this until there is no more powder because it's not a bad product. It's actually pretty decent for what I want it for. And it helps me have like a more natural brow. So I actually like to go from the tail and push the product in backwards. That way it's actually adhering and like laying down on my skin. It's not being just deposited on top of the actual brow hairs. I want to get it on my skin so it'll stay. Now, this is obviously not the most precise little tool I've ever used, but at least it's a start for when I do my brows, because let's face it, it's a multi-step process. Oh, and did I mention this is the shade Blonde? I mean, that's a little impactful for a blonde, don't we think? So yeah, I don't think this is the best drugstore product I have ever used for my eyebrows, but I will do what I can to make it work, because that's what you got to do sometimes. All right, so is this how I want my brows to look? No, but it's a start. I've at least laid the foundation for a shape and a color. Now, because this was the only brow product that I did purchase on this shopping spree, I'm going to use some of my other drugstore favorites for my eyebrows. I love the NYX Lift and Snatch, one of my favorites of all times, and then the NYX Brow Glue. Like, this shit is glue. So I'm going to finish these off camera and I'll be right back. All right, I changed my mind. I have spent way too much time on these eyebrows. This blonde shade is just too dark for me. So I'm a little severe today, but oh well, she's just gonna go with it. All right, let's get some blush on these cheeks. From ColourPop, I have the Cheek Dew Serum Blush. This is in the shade So Cosmo. This is really interesting. So trying to find like a new cheek color in the store, it was kind of difficult actually. There weren't a ton. But I knew I wanted, I was hoping to get like a liquid or cream because I've been having a lot of fun with liquid and creams lately. So I wanted to see if the drugstore had anything. So when I found this one from ColourPop, I was super interested in it. Now, because it said dew, I was like hoping it was going to have a dewy finish. And guess what? It does. So here's the interesting thing about this. You only need a small dot and then it spreads out nicely. And I like patting it in. And I've tried it several different ways. I think that it works best over top of your foundation when it's powdered. It doesn't break it up, but when you have to go over top, say if you go right on top of your foundation and then you powder over top, then it really dulls down the specialness of this. The dew that you get on this, I'm gonna show you. It's like this glossy, angelic, but not like, I don't know, it's so beautiful. Just wait and see. Now, of course, I only use a little bit. And I go back from, the apple of my cheek and I work it in and then I bring it forward a little bit because I do like to have the blush on the apple of my cheek. I think that gives like a nice roundness and youthfulness. Now, as you can see, this shade is very natural. It's like an apricot-y shade, but it's so pretty. Now, can you see? Are you seeing that kind of like little bit of dewiness? I love it. What's so weird? This hasn't happened before. It looks like it lifted my foundation. Come on. This is the third time that I have used this, and this is the first time that it has done that. So I am super annoyed right now because I was so excited about this. Great, now a repair job. I hate a repair job. So I will go over top of my foundation and my powder with this foundation, which it actually seems to be working just fine. Thank God. That's super annoying. I mean, I had a really good experience with this twice. Oh, and I probably didn't mention to you the reason why this is my third video on this. The first one, the lighting was so bad. The second one, I forgot to hit record apparently, because when I got up and finished with my full face that I was super happy with, there was nothing there. Amazing. So I took a few days off, gathered myself, and here we are now. All right, I've corrected the area. I'm gonna let that kind of set up, and I'm gonna try the cheek do on the other cheek. Let's oh, please. You know what? I don't remember if I used a brush last time. Let's use a brush this time. Maybe that will help. I'll put a little bit on the back of my hand. Then on my brush, pat that in. And let's, oh, are you kidding? Well, at least it's where I need it to go eventually. All right, so I'm gonna, okay, we'll do it like that. Okay, so far it's not pulling up. Now because it's a little more vibrant than I want, let's go in with my Beauty Blender just to press it in and lift away any excess product. Okay, that time it didn't lift up my makeup underneath. Okay, now can you see that dewiness? Oh God, I think it's so pretty. Now I, of course, will be going over with a finishing powder, so the color will come down a little bit, but I just think it's the prettiest shade, just the prettiest. And I just love that little bit of dewiness. I love it. There we go. Yep, that time it did not come up. So you definitely have to use your tools. Do not go in with your fingers. I don't know why it makes a difference, but it does. Sweet Jesus, that's a pretty color. And just that like subtle dewiness, I just think it looks so fresh and like natural. Isn't it a good thing you've got me for trial and error? I know, because when you use things and they don't work out the way you want them to, it's super disappointing. But I always want things to work out. So I try and try and try. And if they don't work out after like 3-4 tries, then I'm done with it. Whew, luckily I was able to save this. And can you imagine how pretty this is like on bare skin? It's gotta be gorgeous. All right, I'm gonna let that set up. We're not gonna do highlighter just yet. I'm gonna do my eyes and I'm going to prime with my paint pot. Listen, I'm not gonna bother looking for a drugstore primer. I'm not. So let me just use my MAC Painterly paint pot and I'll be right back. So these were an enormous surprise to me. Originally, I purchased this palette, $5.99. Come on. Now it's Wet n Wild. It's just cheap plastic packaging, which, okay, it's $5.99. But when I played with these colors in my first video, I was blown away by how beautifully everything blended. It wasn't super chalky. Actually, it wasn't chalky at all on the face. These like shimmers, oh, look at that. $5.99? Are you kidding me? So good. Comes with a great transition shade, comes with a deeper shade, comes with your shimmers, comes with a highlight. This I was blown away with. So then of course I was like, I think they have a pink one. You know, I had to get the pink one. So today we're gonna do the pinks. I need like a softer eye because these eyebrows, So look at those shades. I mean, you can have just like a neutral peach look. You can have like a really pretty pink look. You can mix them all. There's so many options here. And for $5.99, like take this traveling with you and leave your super expensive palettes at home. This performs like unbelievably well. She's blown away. All right, because we got major brow going on, I'm gonna go for a simple eye. At least that's the goal. I'm gonna go in with this shade all over the lid. It's nice because it complements like my apricot-y cheeks. It's nicely buildable. It has a nice pigment to it. It's smooth. I mean, look at that. It's so pretty. And I think these shades are complementary to all skin tones. Of course, I dug the handle of my brush into my Pat McGrath highlighter. I'm really hoping that you can see like how buttery, creamy, smooth those are. It's $5.99. I'm going to say it over and over again. I cannot get over it. I cannot. All right, because she's trying to be basic today, I'm going to go in with this shade on my outer corner. I mean, look at that. Look at that. That is some great pigment. And it blends out. Look at that. Now I am using my Scott Barnes brush, which blends everything like a dream, but still, like that pretty chocolate blended out so nice. So pleased. And honestly, boom, done. Like, I don't need to blend that anymore. I'm going to bring it down underneath the lash line just a little bit with whatever is left on my brush. And then I'm going to take this here shade and I'm going to go right over top just to blend these two colors together. Well, blend the three together, really. There we go. So pretty. Oh, I think that blended so pretty. All right, now I'm going to see how this shade is here for the inner corner. We'll see if it's bright enough. Gives a little bit of reflection. I don't know if it's as much as I want, but trying to keep a toned down look. It's so hard for me. All right, I'm leaving my eyes as is, except for my newest find from the brand Black Opal. This is their Precision Eye Definer in the shade Blackout. Now, I don't wear eyeliner a lot, although lately I have been tiptoeing back into it, and I didn't have a black one that I liked, so when I was looking this up on the reviews on Ulta, it was 5 stars. Like, everyone was like blown away, thrilled by it. Now, I've used it twice, and I am so impressed. It didn't transfer onto my upper lid. It didn't smear, smudge. It went on nice. It glides so easily, doesn't tug on my lid. And I think it was like $6. Now, I wasn't familiar with this brand, and I'm definitely going to be looking into more of their products. They only had a small selection at my Ulta, but I'm going to be looking online to see what else I can find, because so far, like, the quality of this, if that is any representation of the rest of their products, I want to check them out. All right, so I'm only doing a little darkness like in my actual lash line because I really don't want like a super dramatic eye. I'm going to make the tiniest of wings. Like, I don't even think you can call it a wing. It's just, I'm going to just drag it out a little bit, and then I'm going to take my fabulous smudger brush and I'm going to just smudge it out a little bit because I don't love a harsh line on me anymore. But when I do wear darker shadows, I do like to have my lash line deepened up. It just helps with the overall look of my mascara. It does give you a little playtime, but when it dries down, it is set. It is going nowhere. All right, I may have overdone it a little bit. Whatever. All right, that's more eyeliner than I intended. That's the problem with eyeliner. Sometimes she's the boss of you. You're not the boss of her. And now you see how on this lid I only went halfway in, and this one I went the whole way in? It makes a huge difference. I should have only done halfway on this side, but girl gets herself a little carried away. You know what? I'm actually going to take this lighter shade here and use it for my inner corner highlight. I just think it's so pretty. There we go. That's just a little bit of punch I needed. All right, I just curled my lashes. I'm going to go in with the Maybelline The Rocket Volume Express in waterproof. I'm going to tell you right off the bat, it's okay. Is it my favorite? No, it's no Maybelline The Falsies Lash Lift. Everything compares to that as far as I'm concerned. This does not measure up, but it's okay. I, of course, don't like that plastic spiky wand. Those are never my favorite. I feel like when the wands have bristles that are like a little longer, they can like hold more product. I feel like that helps to put more on and pull it through the lashes. This, it's not terrible, honestly. It really isn't terrible. It's fine. Is it like the big dramatic false looking lashes that I like? No, but you know me. I'm gonna go in with 3 coats and do my best to get it to where I'm okay with it. Sometimes mascaras actually get better when they've been used a few times, and I attribute that to, you know, when I do my makeup, I get powder on my lashes, and then when I'm combing through with this here brush and then dipping back in, I feel like that a little bit of powder gets put back in there, and it starts to thicken the product over time. And I think that's when some mascaras get better. So, I mean, maybe that'll happen. So do I feel like I'm getting major volume? Not really, but it's not terrible. It's not like that Great Lash, which is crap. Ugh. Now I do like it on the lower lashes. I think it just gives like a nice light effect, which I appreciate, especially when, you know, I've gone in ham on my upper lashes. I'm wearing a black liner. I don't need my lower lashes to be as pow as I like my upper lashes to be. So for the lower lashes, it's pretty good. All right, the lashes done. It's all right. Now this is where it's gonna get controversial. Everybody loves these powders. I have been putting off purchasing them because I didn't need powders. Let's face it, I don't need any makeup, but I wanted to try these because they seem to be a cult favorite. So I bought 2 shades. I got number 10 Fair Light and number 15 Light. So I used this light shade here the first time I filmed, and it was just too yellow on me. I was like, what? Why are you so yellow if you're light? And if you look at it, yeah, it does have a bit of a yellowiness to it, but a lot of translucent powders do. I didn't think it was going to be that yellow, and it was super disappointing. Now it is just a finishing powder, and I love my finishing powders, you know that. So I do have the shade Light, but that looks kind of pink to me, so I'm fearing this too. Ugh. I think what I'm going to do is take one of my like loose fluffy brushes. I don't know. I need to find like my least dense fluffy brush to put this on so that if I don't like it, I can easily, hopefully go over it with one of my more favorite finishing powders. But I want to like this because everybody else does. You know what? Maybe I will use this blush brush because it's very like fluffy and loose. The bristles aren't dense at all. Let's just put it in here, swirl it around, tap it off. Let's start at my forehead. All right, what do we think? Does that look kind of like grayish? Is that kind of gray? Do I look gray? No. Like this could literally ruin everything. I'm gonna go under here. I think this just isn't the shade for me either. Now the purpose of a finishing powder is just to kind of, it's like a veil. It just brings everything together, kind of does away with any harsh edges or lines, and just usually brings like a creaminess to the skin. I have a few powders that I think you know I love. Is this one of them? I don't think so. I just think it's not the right shade for me. I have shades 10 and 15. Do you think there's like a shade 12 and a half? Yeah, so I am not sold on these powders. I don't think, at least the shades are right for me. The overall like finish that it gives, it's fine. It's nice. I have much better. I can't help it. I have others that are much better. All right, now to bring that glow back, I have from e.l.f. This is their Jelly Pop Glow Stick. This is in the shade Melanair. And when I saw this, I was like, ooh, it's like a jelly type. Okay, interesting. So I was picturing kind of like a clear balm stick. When I opened it and I saw this, I was like, what? And I got a little scared. I was like, oh, is that going to be like a white stripe on my face? This is interesting. It gives like a very glossy finish. It's nice and reflective, but it's not like sparkly, shimmery. It is like a dew. It's almost, I mean, it's a perfect match for, where is it? It's the perfect counterpart for With My Cheek Dew. They just, the two of them are so good together. So this here, I don't go directly on the face because that scares me. I just put it on my fingertip. I just warm it up, and it gets kind of like melty. It you know, just the heat of your body just melts it down, and then I just tap it on. Oh my God. And press it in, and then go over with my beauty blender just to press it in. Ooh, look at that. Can you see? It gives a really pretty highlight. It doesn't pull up my makeup. It just blends in and marries so nicely. Love it. So yeah, definitely blown away by this little product from e.l.f. And it even smells good. It has kind of like a melony smell. Delightful. I like that so much. There weren't like a ton of highlighters at the drugstore. My favorite, of course, is the Master Chrome in, what color is this? Rose Gold. I was going to get another shade, but I thought I already know that I love the Master Chrome, so I wanted to try something different. And this, she's different, and I like it. All right, I'm going to cheat. I can't help it. I'm going to use my Hourglass Ambient Lighting Powder in the shade Ethereal Light, because for me, that's the setting powder of all setting powders. I just love the finish it leaves. And you know what? I want my makeup to be pretty. So we're just going to put some on because I don't want my whole drugstore look to go down the drain just because of one or two products. Of course, I'm going to want to save it. All right. Do you see, like, instantly there's like a creaminess? It just brings this like whole cohesiveness to your face. This is some special shit right here. I will never ever be without these ambient lighting powders. They're so friggin' good. So did I cheat on my drugstore look? Yes, I did, but it's because I wanted to look the best it can. So if I have to supplement one or two higher end products, so be it. I mean, if the rest of the face is this good in its drugstore, who cares? Who cares? Now, I did find that I didn't like this highlighter down the bridge of my nose, so I actually think I'm going to use the highlighting shade here. Yeah, let's do that just for a little nose highlight. I mean, that's some highlight. And I will go over with the finishing powder just to take it down a smidge. Pretty. All right, for my lip. So if I'm buying lip liners at the drugstore, you know I'm looking for from NYX, their retractable lip liners. As far as I'm concerned, these are the best that the drugstore has to offer. I was able to get my 3 staple shades that I love to have. So I have nude, I have natural, and I have nude pink. So for today's look, I think I'm gonna go with the nude. Now I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fill in the whole lip. I'm gonna outline for sure. And I'm gonna lightly fill in the whole lip because of my next product that's coming up. So I do like to smooth this around with my finger when I'm filling in my whole lip. I just think that it moves nicely and it helps give me the effect I'm looking for. All right, now this here was a definite find. From L'Oreal, this is their, what the hell is this called? I had to write it down because of course it wasn't on the packaging. This is their Brilliant Signature Shiny Lip Stain in the shade Be Uncontrollable. This, I was like, what? Why haven't I heard of this before? So it's a lip stain and it's almost like a lip cream. Wait, just wait. So of course I got it in a nice kind of like neutral vibe for fall. And you can see it goes on so light. It feels airy. It doesn't feel heavy. And because it's a lip stain, it does have longevity, but I like putting it on top of a lip liner because it just gives it that much more longevity. I mean, look at that. That nice, natural, nudie type of lip. I just think everything has come together so nicely. I know you were concerned, weren't you? Halfway through any makeup look, it's always like, ooh, where is this going? Now, I always like to go over the very end with my beauty blender just to make sure there's no like unblendedness, any powder that just didn't get totally placed and packed in. This actually makes a big difference. You would be surprised. And there you have my completed drugstore look. I think I only used, I want to say just 2 products that weren't drugstore. But I mean, I am so pleased with all of these products. I'm not like the biggest fan of the mascara, but whatever, it's fine. But overall, I think this is a really pretty look for an evening fall like I have tonight, going out on the town. Well, I'm going to a bar to listen to some live music. Who am I kidding? But I am so pleased with how this turned out. So many of these products are like new favorites. This foundation, I freaking love it. The lip, yes. These eyeshadow palettes, 2 thumbs up. The cheek stain and highlighter, freaking love these. This concealer, really, really good. The bronzer, so pretty and easy to use. And this black eyeliner, perfect addition to my collection because I didn't have one. How about if you all let me know in the comments what you're thinking? Are you like, girl, what? Or are you like, I've been using those products forever and yeah, I already know. Either way, I am glad that I found these, used these, and I'm going to continue to use them over and over again. All right, friends, well, that's it for my drugstore makeup look. I want to thank you all so much for being with me, and I'll see you real soon.